Hello everyone, this is Bill, and welcome to Arah, Path 4 Dungeon Guide. This is one of the more longer and difficult dungeons in the game, so I recommend running with people who are experienced with the dungeon, or if you're new, running on a voice client so you can talk to someone who is experienced with the dungeon. Starting off, we're going to kill these spiders. We do this both for loot, and it makes the part coming up a bit easier. For this dungeon, on my warrior, I use lifesteal food and undead slaying potions. We stack to the left to pull the mobs there. We're going to kill the mobs at the door. Next, we're going to fight a champion Harpy that is going to spawn at this location. The main attack you need to watch out for is his swoop attack, and you want to dodge when that happens. Other than that, he is a pretty easy champion starting off with this dungeon. Alright, so we DPS down the first champion, and now we're going to kill 3 hounds of Balazar. Once we kill those 3 hounds, we'll put the orbs that they drop into the torches, and then spawn the first boss of this dungeon, Balazar. Ideally, you want to pull them all into the same place, but it's not that big of a deal if you have to kill them one at a time. The main attack you need to watch out for is their jump leap attack, although if you have blinds, they are extremely easy. So we go ahead and put 2 of the orbs into the torches, and we wait to put the 3rd one in while we explain the next boss to our teammates. Then once we put the 3rd in, Balazar will spawn. Now sometimes he bugs and he doesn't move in the beginning. If you want, you can just stand there and keep attacking. However, we decide to unbug Balazar so we can teach these boss to our newer teammates. The main attack you need to watch out for is his axe whirl attack that's happening right now. It happens once approximately every 7 or 8 seconds, so you can count to 7 and then dodge. For me, as a warrior, that's 100 blades and a couple of auto attacks. Other than that, he's pretty easy. The main attack that's going to down you is his axe whirl attack. Alright, 1 avatar down, 4 to go, right? For this next part, we're going to run through these clouds. If you get hit by those clouds, you'll get knocked down, so you want to avoid those. Then we're just going to skip all the ads in this tunnel, and our thief is going to stealth us up here, so we have an easier time doing the run. It's not necessary to stealth, although if you have a thief, you may as well use it. It makes it much easier. And now we're off to fight Mandrew. To start the boss, you need to activate these poison trees. Now, there are 2 things you need to watch out for starting off. At the beginning of the fight, 3 gorillas will spawn. Now, there are 2 strategies in dealing with them. The first is to go ahead and kill them like we are doing. However, eventually they will respawn. The second strategy is to have someone kite them throughout the entire fight. Now, depending on how fast you can kill the boss in the middle, it may be easier just to go ahead and kill them. The main attacks you need to watch out for with them are their chain knockdown attacks. Each of them have a knockdown, and since there are 3 of them, they can chain knock you down and kill you easily. So if you are the one kiting, I recommend bringing Stunbreakers, Aegises, and Stability. Now we decide to melee the boss in the middle. Some pug groups will range him, and in fact it is safer if you range him. If you do melee, there are 2 things you need to watch out for. The first are these floating green things in the middle. If one hits you, they'll knock you down. If you stay in approximately the place we're at, they will not hit you. The second attack you need to watch out for is this point attack. Once he finishes the point, he will do an attack that will do a lot of damage and knock you down. Now you can either dodge that attack or Aegis that attack. Now we have two awesome guardians who are able to Aegis every single one of these point attacks, and that makes it so easy to melee. Now I go ahead and dodge some of these attacks just to get used to the timing. Although our guardians were excellent during this fight, we had a very easy time in one of the more difficult parts of this dungeon. The trees will spawn poison things at you, so you want to go ahead and kill them. If you do decide to range, I recommend ranging at approximately the southwest side near the rocks, and you can just range the boss down. If you do range, you want to let the trees spawn. I think 6 trees will spawn before they stop spawning, and ideally you want to have them spawn away from you. So you want to range in a place that you're not going to range starting off, have the tree spawn, and do a regular range rotation. For this next part, we're just going to run. We accidentally reveal a bit there, so we have to deal with some ads, although it's not too bad. Actually, I say that, but we're about to wipe here, so maybe it was bad. So ideally, you want to stack in that top left-hand corner and kill the Abomination that's there chasing you. We luckily have one guardian survive, so he just go ahead and reses the rest of the group. So we're going to pull the Abomination over and then melee him down. The Abomination is not bad. If you have blinds, he's easily dealt with. If you don't, the 2 attacks you need to watch out for are his auto attack club swing and his charge attack. Both do a lot of damage. Once you kill the ads and revive the NPCs, the gate will open. If you have a thief, you want to stealth right when the gate opens. And we're just going to keep running. There is a lot of running in this dungeon. And now we're off to fight Lissa. Now if you aggro those champ spiders, you want to kill them because you do not want to fight Lissa and the champ spiders at the same time. You can break aggro at that rock that we were standing on top of. Now the main thing you need to watch out for with Lissa are her clones. Once her clones spawn, they'll put a lot of confusion on you. Now there are 2 ways you can deal with this. You can either dodge right when the clones spawn, or you can bring Condi cleanses to clear that confusion. Now, they can put 25 stacks of confusion on you, which will probably down you after a couple auto attacks. So it's critical that you cleanse that condition, or dodge when the clones spawn. Other than that, you can just melee her down. Alright, now we dealt with Lissa, and we're going to keep running again. To get through this poison field out of combat, you just want to avoid those poison fields. This is exactly the same as Path 3. And we are going to stealth up here to avoid these gorillas. If you don't have stealth, I recommend killing them. If you do kill them, the main thing you need to watch out for are their knockdown attacks. As a warrior, I'm expected to run this first light orb. The easiest way to do this is to equip the Defiant Stance heal skill and then use it when you're at low health, because instead of the orb hurting you, it'll heal you instead. Alright, then I'm going to do the first part of this run as a warrior. So I use Defiant Stance when I'm at low health, I use Bold Charge to get some distance, and I keep on running. When I throw it to people, I aim slightly behind at the person because the AoE aiming system is a bit finicky. And we just relay it over and put the orb in. Next, we're going to stealth up here. If you don't have stealth, you want to stick to the left-hand edge so you don't aggro the mobs. In fact, half our group goes without needing stealth. You can do what our guardians did and just stick to the left-hand side and use Wall of Reflect to destroy the turrets. Then we're going to pull the Abominations over here. Again, the main thing you need to watch out for with these guys are their Club Swing auto attack and their charge attack. If you have blinds, that fight is super easy. Now we decide to fight Lupy in the middle without using the wall trick. If you want to learn how to do the wall guardian trick, you can watch my Path 2 video. Now there are two main attacks you need to watch out for in Phase 1. The first is his arm flourish attack. You need to be in dodge when his hand is at the apex of his flourish. Otherwise he'll spawn a grub on you. If that happens, you'll see that with a poison cloud. You need to get away from Lupy and have your group kill the grub. If Lupy eats the grub, he becomes more powerful, and that is bad. Then he'll go into Phase 2. He will always spawn a grub going into Phase 2, and it will always be on the person that's closest to him. You want that person to use stability so they don't get knocked down. During Phase 2, there are two attacks you need to watch out for. His arm raise attack, which will spawn a bunch of ranged AoE circles, and his swipe attack. For his arm raise attack, you just need to place a wall or reflect or something and stay inside it. And for a swipe and melee attack, you just need to dodge it. If all of you are in melee, you don't need to worry about his ranged single target attack. Now during Phase 3, there are three attacks you need to watch out for. First is his arena bubble attack. Now if no one is moving in melee range, he will not place it. So if you don't move, you'll be safe. But if someone is moving or if someone is at range, he'll place his arena bubble. To get out of the bubble, you need to use stability. If you're inside the bubble, Lupy will constantly do damage to you, and if you hit the edge without stability, you'll get knocked down. The other attack you need to watch out for is his AoE ring attack. You need to get out of the ring for its duration, and then charge back in so you don't spawn the arena bubble. And we were a little late there, so we spawned it. The third attack you need to watch out for is his life suck attack. This is a single target attack. If he targets you, you just need to dodge twice. Sometimes, if he's not against the wall, he will spawn his range barrage attack. You can either dodge that attack or use a reflect. Alright, now after we beat Lupy, we're going to keep on running. Now on the way we need to destroy these turret things. For the first one, you can actually melee it from a distance. You want to try to avoid the adds if possible. For the second and third one though, it's just easier if you range it from max distance so you don't aggro the mobs that are close to it. We go ahead and stealth here just to make it easier, although you don't have to stealth if you just avoid the adds near the turrets. Now while we're killing this last one, our thief is using Dagger Storm on the ranged turrets over there. So he'll reflect the barrage back into the turrets and kill them for us. Otherwise, you just need to kill them as usual. Now we're stacking here. Our thief is going to try to pull some spiders and some grubs to us. You want to try to bring blinds and reflects if you can. So our thief came back, our guardians use reflects, and our thief is using blinds. Our thief didn't manage to get every single one, so we do a second pull over here. Some groups do a pull further to the right to get those grubs. Again, same deal here, blinds and reflects. For this last pull, you need to be a bit careful. One of the adds will spawn a Chaos Storm, and if possible, you want the person luring that add to spawn it before he gets to the stack. So our thief is going to wait outside the stack for a bit, or get down, and spawn the Chaos Storm. Alright, now we're off to fight Grin. Now to spawn the boss, you need to have each person stand inside these symbols, these green symbols on the ground. Then someone is going to aggro the Wraith, that's targeted on my screen to the left, and then you're going to melee the Wraith while inside your symbol. The Wraith is going to warp in between symbols. Now first you need to melee him because he has a reflect, and you want to melee him as soon as he gets to your circle, otherwise he may get out of combat. So you melee him, and then once he leaves your circle, 2 adds will spawn. He's just going to rotate around our 5 symbols twice. So our thief is holding him there to make sure everyone is ready for the second round, make sure all the ads are dead. And once he goes to the last circle in the middle, everyone can go and help out. Now the boss is going to spawn. You don't directly damage this boss. The way you kill the boss is by killing the silver wraiths. Now to start off, 1 wraith will spawn at a time in the various circles that we were just at. Then eventually it'll go to 2 wraiths and 3 wraiths. The gimmick with these wraiths is that when they spawn, they'll use a life drain attack on multiple or 1 or multiple characters. Now this life drain attack is like a timer on your character. Once it expires, you'll instantly go down. Now if you kill the wraith before that timer expires, you won't go down. So the goal here is to kill the wraiths as quickly as possible. Now if you know you're not going to kill the wraith in time, it is possible to dodge or block that life suck attack. Now the Aegis is a bit tricky because the wraith is constantly draining health from you, so that every single drain counts as a block or a potential block. The dodge is a bit easier, although still difficult at the time. I recommend just killing these guys as quickly as possible. Then once we kill the wraiths, we beat the Grin boss, and then we're on to the Dwayna boss. For this run, you need to avoid these rocks that are falling from the ceiling, otherwise they'll down you and you'll die. Alright, now on to fight the Dwayna boss, also known as Simon. Now to spawn the boss, you need to lure the electric guys into the middle, 1 into each blue ring. Now there is a bug spot off to the left where we're stacking at. Now we don't mean to bug her, although she does get bugged. If she doesn't bug, the mechanic to this boss is she'll periodically apply a petrified condition to your party members. Now, the condition is also similar to the ticking condition as before. However, this time when that condition expires, you'll become stunned. Now the way to clear that stun is to throw a tear on someone. Now if you have a stability skill, in your instability, once the condition expires, you can clear the stun from you yourself. However, if you don't use stability, you'll have to have someone else do it for you. Periodically through that fight, if she doesn't bug, she'll disappear from the arena, and you'll have to lure the air elementals back into their blue orbs. Now there is a skip that you could have done to jump over the map, however we decided just to do it the legit way and run and use stealth. Alright, and now we are at the final boss. Now to clear the ads, we decide to just stealth into the middle and then pull them all to the middle. Some groups will stack at range and pull them 1 or 2 at a time. It is safer if you don't have a pull because these guys can actually hurt. So we just pull them into the middle, we use stability and reflex, and we managed to down most of them or all of them without too much trouble. Now the final boss is actually this Bloodstone Shard. You need to kill the Bloodstone Shard while all the mechanics of the previous bosses are happening to you. The main mechanic you actually need to worry about is the same from that Simon boss with Dwayna. If you get that Petrify condition on you, you want to use stability so you can keep moving while you're petrified. If you don't use stability, like our thief there, you need to throw the tear to break that stun. Otherwise, it's just really a DPS race. It feels kind of odd killing an inanimate rock. And that is the end of one of the longest, if not the longest, dungeon paths in the game. Thanks for watching.